Big episode, this.
It's a high pressure one. We'll cram a lot into a short space. That'll help.
It's a great quaffable wine, this. This is a father-in-law recommendation. Billy's Shadow.
Did you say a quaffable wine?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like, very drinkable.
But why quaffable and not drinkable?
I was just being fancy. I'm a wine drinker now.
Is that what wine drinkers say?
Quaffable?
Yeah,
I'm pretty
never
sure.
heard
Unless
that in my
I
life.
know it sounds something like from Harry Potter.
It sounds like you wouldn't. It sounds like it's not drinkable because you would cough it up.
Oh, it's like quaffable. Yeah, quaffable. Am I pronouncing that right?
I've never heard this phrase before.
Haven't you?
No.
We'll have to just make sure.
that.
That could be a very big gap in knowledge if I've been saying that wrong my entire life.
Yeah. Or it could be a big gap in knowledge for me because I've never heard it before.
Pretty sure that's the right thing. It's very quaffable.
Quaffable. How would you spell it?
Don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, Billy's Shadow. Shiraz.
Beautiful.
It's great. And like Dan Murphy, special, like normally that's like a $12 bottle, which is cheap in itself.
It's very cheap.
Case price on special, like $7.90 a bottle. I mean, look at that.
You can afford that case.
8.3 standards in a thing. Like, you can have a very fun night for $7.90. Well, I can.
I could too if I drank red wine.
Anyway, we've said quaffable.
What noise did
40.
you just? What noise did you just make then when you?
We'll listen back. All right. Should we get?
Pretty long intro we've done there.
Should we go? This is the intro, is it?
Shall we go? Shall we go? Shall we go? Shall we go? I think we should.
I've had a few drinks, but yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Trying to think how I can start the.
It's big high pressure.
Oh, it's high pressure. I wanted to go ho ho ho, and I thought I can't do that. I just can't.
You can.
All right. Well, let's go. Ho, ho, ho! It's like 7 days till Christmas.
It is. It is. Oh, that was beautiful. I wonder if I'll ever start doing the intro, like the... I don't know. I might have to
You're
jump in.
absolutely more than welcome. And I think after that, I think everyone, the 3.5 people that listen to this will probably be for it.
2025 might be my year for intros, maybe.
Might be. I'll take that as a hint. I'll write this down.
I mean, I didn't hate ho ho ho. It's thematically correct. I can't. Yeah. You're actually writing that down.
No, I wrote something else down.
Okay.
Just pretending. Come on. It's like,
Sorry.
come on. It's content.
It's ruined the illusion there, haven't I?
Is this quicker than a week?
It is.
So we've gone
We're back
from...
to a weekly podcast.
We're back to a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Skip the beat. Do you want to take over? Here you go.
Yeah, this is Skip the Beat. We're a podcast loosely based on music. My name is Katie, and I'm joined every week by my friend of forever, Matthew.
Hi.
How are you, Matt? What's been happening since we recorded 5 days ago?
Mate, a lot. And you've spent the Arvo hanging out with the fam.
It's a first for us. We've rolled into a podcast and we've had, well, what time is it now? 9 p.m. I've been with your family since before 4 p.m. this afternoon. Matthew's children are my godchildren, and so we did an afternoon of Christmas shopping.
Very generous, auntie.
Well, they got to pick out some Christmas gifts that they wanted. It's a fairly widely known fact amongst me and my friends that I'm the worst present buyer. I'm inconsistent. I also don't ever know what to get. And so when it comes to kids, I just said, how about we just go shopping and they just pick what they want within a price limit and away we go.
And what was the price limit? About $850 a kid.
That's right.
Must be nice.
The price limit creeps up a bit because Auntie Katie's also a mega soft touch. So if they saw something really cool, I was like, oh yeah, we can probably do that. We can probably make that work. So it was good fun.
What's an extra $160?
Doesn't matter.
Nothing. I've already earned it having this conversation with you.
My stocks and bonds have already appreciated by that much.
Bitcoin's 200 grand.
So, yes, we've been together for hours and hours upon hours.
Then we went out and did a little Christmas light tour.
We did.
Just locally, Cinnamon Park, Jindalee. No, Jindalee let us down. They didn't have them on.
Jindalee had
it's been raining. Better not put the lights on.
Jindalee had the power off. We went to Mount Omni, though.
Mount Omni, though, yes.
Bit of
Westlake. Westlake snow? No, that was Mount Omni snow.
Mount Omni snow, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we've had a big Christmas-themed afternoon, which is apt because we are bringing you maybe a short ep. We don't know how long this is going to go. We don't have a lot of content for tonight's pod, but a bit of a Christmas/end-of-year themed pod that, we're going to bring you for Skip the Beat.
Yeah.
And something else really thrilling that we're doing tonight is we're doing the entire podcast without a whiteboard.
Whiteboard.
Yeah, so this could go horribly wrong.
I've made a few little notes, but we'll just go with the flow. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, we're professionals now. So talk to people about what app are we up to? What have we done for Skip the Beat?
Well, because we think we're good enough to have seasons.
That's right.
I think this is episode 6 of season 2, which season 1 had 12 episodes.
Yeah.
So in my brain, mathematically, that would be 18. So this is our 18th episode of Skip the Beat.
18th episode. And my question is, when we come back fresh in 2025, is that season 3?
I don't know.
Or do we have to make sure season 2 gets to 12 eps well before we roll over?
I honestly
don't know. I don't know,
I guess we'll make the call as how we feel.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, the lesser amount of episodes we have, it just helps us sound like we've been around for a while. This is episode 3 of season 20.
Yeah, true.
It's their 35th total episode.
We could hit season 20 next year. We don't know.
We want to do.
Yeah. It's the mystery of Skip the Beat. It's a podcast loosely based on music as well as loosely based on a weekly time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or monthly time frame.
Yeah. Have you done anything exciting in the 5 days since we recorded our last pod?
Well, it's been quite wet in Brisbane. It's been a little bit of rain, just a touch.
She's been moist.
I needed to do some yard work, and I was kind of gambling with the weather. Nailed it. Got out early on Sunday morning and did it.
Mm-hmm. Lucky.
And got it done. There was a lot of mower tracks in the yard, like I was sloshing through. Should have worn my gumboots, but look, got it done. Did a bunch of weeding. It was also, I forgot, it was like my first taste of being outside. This is, again, coming from someone who's a musician and also gets monitor glow because they work behind a screen full time. But the first taste
not your
of
classic outdoorsman.
No, I've got an IT tan. But the first real taste of that ridiculous Brisbane humidity that we get, where I was just, it was early in the morning and just sweating rockets. I'm like, what am I doing? I've only just got the mower out of the shed. I haven't even started it yet.
Yep.
And I'm just wringing wet. So yeah, I was like, yep, got that done. Then a little bit of Christmas shopping. There was a bunch of music stuff. Did you know? Here's a fact. A little fact bomb.
Me.
Outer Falls fact bomb.
Drop it.
In the time that Outer Falls has existed, the last week we saw the biggest growth in 1 week we've ever seen before.
And what does growth mean? Growth in followers?
Just amount of followers and engagement and like amount of DMs sent and things like that. I don't have the statistics. Well, I would have the statistics. Statistics.
There you go.
Have I got it?
Yeah.
Good.
Nailed it.
But we have this thing with our marketing we're doing with Instagram where every new follower that we get, we send a DM to. So I don't know why I just tried to think I wouldn't know how many DMs were sent because I do. But we got over 500 followers new in 1 week from Monday last week to Monday this week, which was yesterday, which means there was 500 DMs sent, plus then the conversations that happen. And that makes sense because there was just so much time last week where it was just forever connecting with people and just so many people saying, I can't believe I haven't found your music, which again, I know I say this a lot on the podcast and a lot when I'm talking about Outer Falls, but it just blew me away. Like it's not like they don't have to say that. They could just follow and just get on with their merry life. But the fact that they go, I've listened to your catalogue, I like, this is my favourite, this is my second favourite. Like, when are you playing live? When are you coming to Sydney? When are you coming to Adelaide? When's your next Brisbane show? Just crazy, absolute crazy, and 500 in a week, which is
that's huge,
phenomenal.
That's
absolutely
huge
phenomenal
for the climate that we're in Australia. I guess globally maybe, but in Australia particularly, it's a massive, massive deal.
Toughest time to grow in the music industry. Toughest time to do live shows. We're completely independent, self-managed, and somehow being stupid enough to go, yep, we'll put our hand up and do it.
Yeah.
If for some reason, if you are one of the random 3 people that listen to Skip the Beat, and you've recently followed a band from Brisbane, Australia, and got a DM from some guy named Matt, welcome. You've crossed paths. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
It's really good.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, and when most people are, I guess, really what I've noticed with Alta Falls in the last few weeks, when most people are really trying to wind down, there's been a big dig deep. There's so much stuff already in the pipeline for next year. There's been no breath after this, eastern seaboard leg of the Australian tour, and we're really motoring on to some stuff. You were about to interrupt me then, and I just want to give you massive props for not doing that.
I just had a bit my tongue.
You just did a really good job. Good job. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Normally, when we're editing, we'll be sitting there and mostly Katie will go, yep, just interrupted me. There we go. Well done.
Did you say mostly me, as in you think sometimes I do it to you?
No. As in sometimes I'll pick up and go, yep, here we go. I'm going to interrupt you right about now.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely always
just cut you off mid-sentence.
Definitely always
just
you
like that.
who interrupts. Very good.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes. So, yeah, in saying that, I think I saw a really, really great clip that, now, for those who are outside of Australia, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, he's been around for decades. I think he's 3 decades or something crazy. But an Australian artist, Ben Lee. And if you don't know him, check him out. He's got a couple of big hits that he had back in the day. But he posted he's just finished 91 shows in the year for him. And he did like a little probably 7-minute social media clip. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
I'll have to show you. I'm waiting for this podcast to download. It was really good how he was just like, I think the new thing is, he's like, really the attitude I'm taking is that it's not like, oh, well, this is one tour I'm doing and this is another tour I'm doing. It's just like, because regional areas now, it's a little bit different for us because we're a lot smaller than he is. But basically, back 20 years ago, it was like you did your big major cities and it was hard to get into the regional areas because there was like streaming wasn't a thing, social media wasn't a thing. But he's like, basically, and he goes, I'd love to encourage other bands to do it, is don't just do it as a tour at a time. It's kind of like you're just on this never-ending tour. It's just like you're kind of just always booking your next show. And it was really interesting to hear him say that, because little discussions that Nathaniel and I have had has always been like, well, for us, we know what works well with our marketing is that we like to book in a show a good 5 to 6 months in advance, just because it just naturally, because you're a smaller band and you don't have management and you don't have a label and you don't have a booking agent behind you to push and promote and get tickets. You don't necessarily have big radio stations playing you 5 times a day to push you. Obviously, it's a lot harder. We need that time to sell tickets. So we are constantly always wanting to... Basically, we've made a pact, Nathaniel and I, that we've got Perth coming up in February.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that by the time that show happened, at the very latest, we've got the next, at least one more show booked in.
Yeah, yeah.
So that we've always got another show. There's always something then that's like, right, we're selling for this particular city or town.
Yeah.
So it was just very interesting to hear him say that, because that's what we're finding is working for us. And yeah, Ben Lee's a great... I really love his socials. He gets down and deep with kind of what his experience has been in the music industry and what it is now. Is a really good...
He's super interesting because he's been at the highest of highs, living in LA, doing the whole American thing, and then sort of back to some more humbling type stuff, but he's still gigging plenty. That he did a couple of shows around Brisbane that I didn't get to make it to that I really wanted to, because one of his albums I really liked a lot back in the day.
You were at, I think so, because I've only done one and it's been with you. But he came out at that pub choir, didn't he? That we did. Was it the pub choir he came out to?
Yeah, because we did his song.
Yeah, I've never seen him live, except for obviously saw him live that night, which is not really a gig. But
I totally forgot that. Yeah, we did his song.
Had a little element in his post yesterday where he's like, just casually having dinner with Belinda Carlisle. I was like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, just somewhat, like, that's amazing.
Icon.
Yeah, absolute icon.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, it's been a really busy week for Outer Falls. It also happened to be the biggest week when Nathaniel was away on holiday with his family.
So it was all on you.
So there was a lot of interruptions I was doing, just being like, just a couple of quick questions. Have you got time for a 10-minute call just to make some decisions? But which thankfully he was able to do. But it's like, of course, it would happen in all the weeks. So yeah, it was a lot of late nights catching up on.
That's
DMs.
amazing. Yeah,
So yeah,
wow.
it's just, and that's something from, again, I know there's no whiteboard, so we don't have to go by anything.
No.
There's a big kind of international motivational speaker. You would have heard of Gary Vee.
No,
You haven't heard of Gary Vee?
No.
I almost think that's a gap in knowledge.
It's probably some
probably not.
gross man. That's why I haven't heard of him.
He obviously he's a multi.
I have. You've talked about him in one of our early pods about diversifying and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Is that the same guy?
I think so. Yeah, and he basically has also come from. He started a wine business. He started with a wine business, and basically had the attitude of I will be replying. Back early days of socials, obviously, and YouTube and things like that. He's like, I'm not going to bed until every single person has been replied to. And he's like, if you are saying, I've got to get to sleep because I'm tired, and he goes, no, that's excuses. He's like, you stay awake. He goes, I don't care if you're awake till 3:00 in the morning. For those first couple of years, you dig deep and you reply to every single person who has shown interest in your product or whatever your brand that you're building. So we've taken a lot of his advice on as well, which, there has been some late nights, but it's been unreal connecting with the people that we have.
Yeah, and we've had some conversations about that, about when does that flick over? When are there too many people and you physically can't do that anymore? Because the hustle is real. I see the effort that you guys put in. And even after the live show we've talked about, it's almost as though, and we go to a lot of shows. I mean, I go to an enormous number of gigs, and
must be nice.
I don't even actually remember the last time that the act came out and interacted with of any of the shows I go to. And I go to shows that only have, a few hundred people and that have a lot of people. And the only time I think ever that I've been able to talk to the artist would be at a gig sort of like the Junk Bar size, which is maybe 50 people. And you guys had over 200 tickets sold at some of your shows and went out. And almost everyone that was in the venue was in that line.
The line,
to
it
say
was just
hello.
ridiculous.
It was never ending, and just gave so much time to people. And so, it's a question of how do you, I guess you do it as long as you can. But at some point it's not going to be possible. So super interesting. What a great way to finish the year. That's awesome.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this is what I was writing down before when I was pretending to write down whatever I was writing down.
Sure.
But I got a comment on, I don't know why I'm saying we got a comment on our YouTube from Skippy Michelle, who you met.
Oh, yes.
In Melbourne. And she was just incredibly thankful that she not only met us both in Melbourne, but she also got a shout out on the podcast. Well, now you've got another one, Michelle.
Michelle, we'll shout you out every week, baby girl. We are so grateful to anyone
You've made that commitment
who takes time to listen to our dribble. We are incredibly thankful to have you as one of our skippies.
Now, you've been to a gig, of course you have.
It's been 5 days. I've been to a gig. Quick recap. There's not a lot to say. I went to Meg Washington, who when I really thought about it, she's only sort of had one EP that I've really, really, really loved. It was sort of one of those gigs I went to and I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to know a heap of this music, and I actually didn't. So she did play a few of my favourite tracks from the EP called Batflower, which I loved, which she released I think in like 2020. But the show was just brilliant. Like it just in the pocket vocals. Great music. It was just her on a grand piano with a gentleman whose name I don't recall, on electric guitar and acoustic guitar. That was it. Occasionally she had her opening act. He came out and did a bit of stuff with her. They did a Shania Twain cover that I sent through to Matt instantly. And unfortunately was probably ruined by us screaming in the background of the video, not enhancing it at all. But yeah, great show. Princess Theatre, beautiful venue, and just a really chilled, beautiful night. She was amazing. So not many notes from me other than it's the last live music I'm going to see this year. I've got a gig booked in for the 1st of January, but it is the last thing I have booked for this year. It was a beautiful, really delicate way to end the year, I would say. Yeah.
I did like how you sent me the cover of all the songs you could have sent me.
Still the one, Shania Twain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love just on that how, I don't think you do it. Or maybe you do. But like whenever people talk about me and it has the word or the name Shania Twain and they're like, Matt's little secret. I'm like, I don't understand why you're using the term secret. It's not a secret.
I think everyone feels like it should be a secret. Maybe that's...
Nah. She's great.
She is great. I have no arguments here.
Only seen her once?
I was going to say I've seen her twice as many times as you have. So I must be a bigger fan.
That was a last minute buy you got too, wasn't it?
To your show.
Yeah.
It was.
To my show.
To your life.
And you were only
dream.
like a row behind me.
Couple of rows back, yeah.
And you got it last minute.
I did.
And I got it the morning of the ticket going on sale.
I got it last minute because it was stupidly expensive.
I did.
No one else was buying those tickets.
I've invested a lot into that ticket and I went by myself.
Yep.
Enjoyed. Although you got to think, like I drank a lot of free alcohol.
Yeah, Matt did the full meet and greet package.
I didn't meet her.
Oh, well, but the full behind the VIP, sorry, not meet and greet.
Yeah, all it was you're just in one of the bars upstairs. That's all it was.
But you got some extra merch and stuff, didn't you too? Didn't you get like a merch package?
No, it was nothing like that.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, maybe I got a little lanyard, maybe. The ticket was a little lanyard.
And I guess, okay, so I guess the VIP thing was just that it was in those front few rows.
Yes.
That was the main hook for people to
I was just like,
money.
I have to do it. Obviously I've done it with Elton. The only other artist I need to do that, I feel I need to do that for, is Billy Joel.
Yeah.
And I know that his prices are redonkulous.
I've only seen Billy Joel from the nosebleeds.
Yeah, so if he comes to Australia again and decides to not just do a one-off show in Melbourne, although he's getting on, so if he does it again just in Melbourne, I really would just consider it, because it's just, I guess, you are going to die one day and it's just money.
We're going to need some followers on this podcast so we can start selling some advertising and raise some revenue for you. Yeah.
So, yeah, look, that's great. You've been to a gig. I haven't. I don't have any gigs booked in, actually. I'm not got any live music booked in at all.
That's okay.
I just find with my lifestyle, it's just kind of last minute. A lot of the gigs I go to are last minute. Like I buy a ticket within a week out.
I always get too scared in case they don't sell out, but I should know with the industry these days, there's always tickets left.
Shocking.
Plenty of empty seats at Meg Washington in that theatre. Plenty of empty seats.
Now, one was kind of like when I was with the idea of North the week before. Just great. They're normally sold out to the rafters, and just empty seats everywhere. So it's a tough time.
Yeah.
Now, you also wanted to last week, which was a big, long, packed, full episode. You wanted to talk about the Grammys and the Arias.
I just had like a really, and it's probably better that we left it to this week, because I just had a few little things that popped up. The Grammy nominations came out like over a month ago now, quite a while ago. But we also had the Arias, so the Australian Record Industry Awards were televised a couple of weeks ago now.
Three weeks ago,
maybe even longer ago.
4.
And we didn't talk about them a lot, but I just thought it was worth noting. We did have an episode probably mid-season 1, entirely devoted to Missy Higgins. And it was just wonderful to see her finally inducted into the Hall of Fame at the Arias.
Should have been years ago, but...
Yeah.
And it was on the back of her second act tour. Like, she's done this massive tour this year.
And a sold-out tour as well.
Yeah, again,
one of the few artists that
kept adding
have done that.
Encore shows, which she just deserves every single bit of...
Every accolade.
Unbelievable. She is... I think I have to say, in the Australian music industry, particularly, no doubt, in the Australian female music industry, she is by far at the number one. I think she's... It's very hard because I've got to try and put the entire world, but she is in the top 3 female voices of all time, I think. It just acts for me. She just is... one of my favourite artists ever. I don't think that'll ever change. So, I try and see... Well, we've talked about this 100 times. We see her every opportunity that we get.
The problem is that when I saw her, I just saw so many other great things, and I remember every week I was just like, oh, that person is right up the top. They're right at the top. But, I mean, Missy, she's iconic, and it was just a wonderful moment to see that. And there was this brilliant performance. It was Greta Ray, Angie McMahon, Amy Shark and G Flip did a medley of some of Missy's songs. And to me, as a woman, just watching powerful women plus our non-binary superhero G Flip just deliver so epically that night, I just thought that performance is well worth checking out on YouTube for anyone who hasn't looked at it yet.
And just another thing really that our producer Aiden... Just another reason as to why.
This is the other reason we wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, is G Flip has risen to amazing success.
One record of the year, Song of the Year, was it? Or record of the year?
No, Song of the Year.
Song of the Year, yeah.
But also they got a number 2 in the Hottest 100, which was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Now, they work with Aidan Hogg, who not only has produced that album, but I'm pretty sure co-wrote
a lot of it.
A lot of that, and particularly that song as well. Now, Aidan has been responsible for everything that Out of Fools has put out. He has been the producer of, and we've worked with him. Just a down to earth, lovely human who's now moved himself to LA and just made it very difficult for us to be able to say, hey, can we just book some time into your little Brisbane studio and come and produce with you?
Yeah. I remember when you first found Aiden, and he was so great, and he loved you guys and was really devoted to helping you achieve the sound you achieved. And then next minute he's just on Team G Flip. So he knows a good thing when he hears it. So we hope that's good signs.
Let's just hope. Let's just hope.
Yeah.
So still a couple of songs that are come out that we've got that have started with him as the producer.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to have to start working with. We've got other producers that we've been working with and mix engineers that obviously it just comes down to obviously co-producing and things like that.
Yeah.
But there's still definitely a couple in the works that we've started in the studio with Aiden. So look, whether we get the opportunity to work with him, I said to Nathaniel, if because he works so well and understands our sound and knows, like, basically you want your producer to be kind of like another band member in a way. Like, he's been good to challenge us and say, look, I would do it this way, or I think this, and what do you think? And when we fight back and say, well, no, I think we like it that, he's good. If he really is adamant on it, he can say, well, guys, I think your call, but I think we should do it this way. He's really good at. He's been great just doing that, and just happens to do it so quick with us in the studio. Had such a good recipe, I guess, if you can call it, for being able to. We've had a song written, but to just bring it to life into the studio. So I said to Nathaniel, if we got 4 or 5, 6 songs in the bank, like, I'd almost consider flying to LA, and we'll just jump in a studio for 3 or 4 days with him and just do it.
He's certainly one of the people that was responsible for helping you guys cultivate the current sound of Out of Fools.
And now we know exactly what we want. So regardless of whether we get to work with Aiden, I hope we do, but regardless of whether we do or not, I think that's helped us now with the catalogue of music that we've got. We're able to go to a producer and say, well, look, we want to, I guess you always wanted to grow and expand your sound, but this is where we've come from. So how do we, at bare minimum, continue that, if not build on top of that? So, that's Aiden chat.
Yeah.
But good on you, Aiden.
/Arias chat. And to wrap that up with the Grammys, there was just a few really interesting stats this year when the Grammy noms were released. And as a woman and a musician myself, this stuff just blew me away. So Grammy noms this year, first time in history that no men were nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album. First time in history, all women line up in that category this year. Our queen, Beyonce, 11 nominations this year, taking her total Grammy nominations to 99, which is the most ever. That's insane. That's an insane number for just a lifetime of work. And also another stat about women. So for Album of the Year this year, 6 out of 8 of the nominations for Record of the Year are women. So
unbelievable. About time.
Powerhouse year. Yeah, powerhouse year for women in music. And it'll be really interesting to see how all of those stats then play out with the winners when we
the really year. It's kind of like a two-pronged fork. Is that well done. Well, you go, Matt. You go, Glen Coco. It's good in a way of, obviously it's been a very male-dominated industry for so long, but I have always taken the stance of it should be about the music, but the music that is there is phenomenal. So the fact that from the music alone that is now happening as well with everything the world has been working towards with trying to build up women in the music industry. We do it. A little side note back to Outer Falls as well. Something that Nathaniel and I do. Obviously, look, we know reality is we're two white middle-aged males in the music industry. What can we do at the very least to try and support women in music? So for all of our shows except for one, I think, that we did last year, we always try and make an effort that any supports that we have are either a female-led act, like a female solo or duo act, or at least have a female in the band. And that's just kind of something we want to make sure that we continue to do as well. So I did see a lot of that. I didn't see all those particular stats. I did hear the one about the 6 out of the 8.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's been a big year. It's been a big year for women in music. So looking forward to what 2025 will bring. We probably need to start just sort of talking about Christmas. The thing I wanted to know, so for this year, do you have it's the first year of the pod. We've only been around, what did we say, May was our first
2
drop?
seasons.
Just 1.5 seasons, really. So we're just babies. We're just little babies. Do you have a high point from the pod this year?
Well, you put me on the spot.
I have, because I should have one for myself. I don't really even have one for myself.
A high point from the pod.
Yeah. Doesn't have. I can start with mine.
Okay, you go.
Mine's silly and probably sentimental, and I hope I don't cry. My high point from the pod is just being able to spend time with you, with my friend who I love so dearly and who makes me laugh every single time we're together. Whether we're laughing on the pod or not, it would be just amazing if the skippies could see what happens when the mics go off, because we both think we're really, really funny and we have an enormous amount of laughs together while we're editing. And
big emphasis on think.
Yeah, that's right.
We definitely aren't.
We're under no illusions.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Under no illusions. My high point is just the fact that we effing did the thing.
We just got it off the ground and did it.
And it's all thanks to you. Matt was the one who was the real driving force and was like, let's do this with theming, with branding. Let's do this with the gear we need to buy, the programs we need to buy. Let's have a Splitwise account so that we can both pay for things equally, even though we're never going to make money from this podcast. Let's invest a little bit in it so that it sounds good and looks good. And the high point for me literally has just been that there's been a great deal of time where it's really hard for us to spend time together. And so to do it under the illusion of a project has been really wonderful.
I've got some stats for you. So this is the 18th episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of 18 episodes, we have a little timer over there that sort of says, at the moment it's saying 33 minutes. By the time this edits out and you're listening to it, it might be 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But a timer just so we can see that we're not going overboard too far.
I know what these stats are going to be already.
So 18. Now, we've forgotten to start that timer once. So the timer's gone on 17 times.
Yep.
I have set that time. I got out of my seat to set that timer 16 of the 17 times.
Did I do it once?
You've done it once.
Oh, amazing. Go me.
Yeah. So that's one out of 17 or 1 out of 18.
I thought that stat was going to be a 0 for me.
You've got one. You did one right at the start.
The best
and I
thing
think we
about
made
this...
fun of you when you did it. It's like, it's all right, you do it. There was one where you were like, well, the timer hasn't started. I bet.
I think I offered and you were just like, nah, you're not going to do it. Why are we even talking about it? The beautiful thing is that normally I just walk into this room, sit down on this chair, and then Matt flits about, getting everything
There's
sorted.
a mirror, so I can see we put this up on YouTube and
sets up 2 cameras. He gets the
in case
lights.
Oh, go Christmas theme tonight.
Yeah, Christmas themed lights.
You know,
some
see
red,
a little bit
lights.
of green here, a little bit of red over there.
Matt's done all of that. Sets up, makes sure the sound check's right. Makes sure that he's got a drink. Never offers me one.
Although you've got one tonight. Although I have offered you many times a drink. You're like, no, I'm fine.
No, I'm fine. I got my water bottle. Thanks.
I'm trying to think what my favourite podcast moment is.
It's absolutely fine that it's not hanging out with me. That's fine that it's not that. That's no problem. It's okay if you've got another one. You don't have to have the same
Well,
as
I was
me.
going to say, I think out of 18, well, I haven't said 18 yet, but out of 17 puns of the week, well, last week was a double, so 18 puns of the week, I think the fact you've laughed at 2, I think, what's that, a 1 in 9. It's an all right one.
So you've transitioned straight onto the low point of the pod, have you? Or is that your high
I think just
point?
the high is you've laughed at 2. I'll take that.
You'll take that. You don't hate those odds.
I'm really hoping it's 3 after tonight.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like your chances, but I'm
No,
hopeful
it has
for
been.
you.
It has interrupting you again. It has.
Not at
It
all.
has been a lot of fun doing this. I had the crazy idea. Quite a few years ago, actually, and just in the back of my mind of one day I'd love to do a podcast. I don't really know what. Something to do with music would be good. I thought for a very long time it'd be something I did by myself, and somehow I don't know how it would even work. Just the silly ideas you have when you're lying in bed. Or in the shower, trying to think, like, who would I get? Like, would I have, like, a special guest every week? And it's like all of these things, like, just it would be impossible to try and project manage that. And just, I thought, well, hang on a minute. Like, just, there's a lot of little projects you and I have done over the years. And when I threw it out to you, you did. You took it by the reins and said, yep, let's do it. It's good. It's not my podcast. It's our podcast. Even though I introduce it every single week. But as of next season, you will be. I'll throw it to you. It has been good. I mean, I hope that from the people that listen to this get a little bit of an insight to... It is a weird thing. It's a great thing, but it's a weird thing, I guess, the friendship that we have. Because... you live in a tiny house, and you've even just this afternoon got to experience what living with 3 kids under the age
mayhem.
of 8 it can just be, from the highs of the highs and the lowest of the lows, and overtired kids at 8 o'clock when you're trying to get them into bed after you've just done everything for them.
Yeah.
And tiredness takes over and emotions take over. But yes, it's been good to get it off the ground. So thank you.
Yeah, no.
For getting it happen.
No, thank you.
No.
No.
So while we're speaking of really good things, and this is quite funny that you mentioned Beyonce before, because I've actually been getting into quite a bit of Beyonce, and I said to Jen through the week, I think she might be my new favorite artist. And I started like going through all the songs that I really loved and started talking to them. And she goes, Matt, look, whatever floats your boat. And I said, no, Jen, that's buoyancy.
Oh. Oh, dear.
No?
I don't know.
I just-
It just took me a little bit too long to get it.
Well, that's not my fault.
Okay. Yeah. I don't hate it.
Okay. Don't know what I have to do to get a fucking joke over the line in this place.
I don't know if it's the
You know how hard it is to get a
cider or
fucking music-related pun every week? I could
Yeah.
it's limitless. Maybe season 3 is just pun of the week.
Yeah, it can just be part of... That's fine. Don't be aggressive about it. Do you reckon I'm going to remember which one I hit for my...
Throw that over there.
Matt's having a tantrum. He's
Top
done.
on my wine.
Matt's out. He's done.
Well, buoyancy was great.
was. I'm so sorry I didn't get that straight away. There are going to be some skippies that got that straight away that are really disappointed in me. So I apologise. I really do.
And look, you'll be pleased to know it wasn't a Muir recommendation this week, so you
It
don't
was
have to
just
dig
all on
yourself
you.
out a hole.
It's just all on you.
All right, what are you doing?
I don't know. I'm going to hit the wrong thing, I think.
From the pouch.
Another high point for me this year was definitely the week that you created that sound secretly behind my back and then played it. And
You liked it.
Loved every single moment of it. I was so dubious about From the Pouch as a concept, but I really, really love it now. So I'd like to draw something from the pouch for our final Skip the Beat for 2024. It's a Christmas-related memory that I'd like to draw from the pouch. And it's a memory that probably I would hazard a guess more than most of our combined memories comes up really regularly in our day-to-day sort of chats.
I think I know what this is going to be.
And it is. It is the time. We're not going to mention people. We're not going to mention churches. We're not going to mention years.
Does it involve rehearsals?
It certainly does.
Perfect.
It certainly does. I'd like to draw from the pouch the time that a church rehearsal for a Christmas-based event that we were involved in drove us to do shots around your backyard pool at your family home, at your mum and dad's house.
I was still living at home. I was only 17. No, I'm kidding. I was like 20. I was of age.
I'm not sure. I mean, we can always edit this, but I want to try and present this as authentically as I can. So we were involved in possibly one of the worst rehearsals we've ever been to. It was bad in every way. It was bad from sound. It was bad from other people that we were trying to collaborate with at the time.
Management of the rehearsal.
Yeah, just the overall whole concept of what we were trying to achieve, of which we were just a small part. And it was with our band at the time that we were with together. And just an absolute schmozzle of a rehearsal. And afterwards, we just lost the will to survive, didn't we? We really lost the will to survive.
I think the straw that broke the camel's back, and again, I'll be very careful in how I word this, was there was a particular song that needed to... It had verses in English and then verses in another language. And I guess the process of trying to fit that...
the words from another language to
into
the melody
of another song.
Yeah.
Just, and maybe not with any experience of singing. We tried our hardest
You're being
to
incredibly
just,
diplomatic.
It was a very tough time and a very big effort to just keep a smile and be like, we got this.
Yeah, we tried so hard. And I think we held it together.
I think
we
so.
absolutely held it together, and we did the gig and everyone loved it. But after that particular rehearsal, we went back to Matt's house and we were just, shots were on. It was
bourbon too, I think. From bourbon and vodka.
It was just disgusting around the pool.
That is also the night, and I know that I was quite under the influence, where we were talking and kind of you envision a pool being a big, I guess like oval type shape.
Oval shape. Yeah, we were all sort of sitting around the
There would have been,
end that had the
6
step.
of us? Yeah, so kind of sitting in like a curve.
5 of us, I think. The 4 of us plus Jen.
But it was kind of like, it was hurting my nails on the end. I couldn't, I was in the middle. Something, I just couldn't.
He wanted to be able to see everyone and he couldn't, and so he came up with an ingenious
So
plan.
I went and got, and you made fun of me. I still to this day think it was one of my best things because I was in the water.
Think it is, yeah.
I went and got a chair, like
Little
just
plastic garden chair.
Yeah, I think it was that textbook white metal steel table that every home in Australia had in the 90s.
Yep.
That white with the pattern cut out of it and had the
Yep.
you got it in white and green and all of that.
Yes.
My parents had it in white.
Yeah.
I got the chair from that because
Yep.
it was heavy, so it was weighted.
Yep.
I went and put it in the middle of the step. You know, the big shallow step that you have before you go down into you got the first little step, then the big middle step.
Yep.
I put it in the big middle step and just faced you all.
Yeah.
And it was just perfect.
And I believe that you conducted us
I
and you did
did.
all sorts of things.
I
Became the
could-
master of ceremonies.
I was just able to communicate perfectly with all of
We
you.
were. Conducted our shots. I don't know. Do I tell the part of the story about what I did to your dad's lawn or not?
Oh, you
I
have
don't
to
know.
now because
I
I
kinda
think
have
my
to.
dad listens to this. So I was still living at home.
Yeah.
My dad was up just, I don't know, playing solitaire. I think just staying up more so just be like, I think I just need to make sure that they're okay. There's people drinking alcohol in a pool area.
Yeah.
And can I tell the story or do you want to tell it? I want to take your limelight.
Oh no, you can tell the story. I guess before you tell the story, I just want to say that we just made really bad choices. The precursor to this story is we really just inappropriately abused alcohol because we were so frustrated with this experience we'd had. So we did like 10 shots.
Oh.
Like it was
Stupid.
terrible. It was terrible behavior. We were young. We were stupid. It was 20 years ago, probably. Wouldn't it have been?
Now we're old and we're
Almost.
stupid.
Yeah. It was a long time ago. We made some really bad decisions and we were rottenly drunk sitting around the pool. And then you can tell
So,
this part of the story
because
from
I've
here.
got to tell it right from the get-go because I remember you saying, I'm going to be sick. Have you got a bucket?
That's definitely where this story starts. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
And so I got you a bucket.
Yep.
And you... Oh, I don't think there's a nicer way to say it. You filled the bucket. And it was
I
like
had
a
a
proper...
decent tilt.
It wasn't a little sand bucket you take to the beach. It was like a big laundry bucket.
It was a 7-litre garden bucket from memory.
Yeah.
Probably green in colour.
Yeah, probably, most likely.
Yeah.
And you filled it.
Yep.
And I don't know why. We just didn't... I know why. Was it you that tipped it out on me?
No.
Because I've got the memory... In my memory, it was
Why
me.
would you have been pouring my vomit out?
Because I remember being so scared of walking it through the house to the
Oh,
toilet.
not wanting to
I didn't
spill
want
it.
to spill it everywhere
Yes,
because I'm like,
it
that's
was
just
you.
disgusting.
It was
if
you,
I spill
yeah.
it, like that's awful. Because obviously,
This is a really epic sign of the depths of our friendship
Yeah.
that you would dispose of my vomit for me.
Jen had already passed out. That was
Yeah.
Jen's first time drinking alcohol, I think. So
yeah,
she
we
was
put
gone.
Jen to bed pretty early. Yeah.
Then she woke up, remember? She's like, I'm ready to party
Yeah.
again. And we're like, we're done. We're cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was also shotting water, wasn't she?
She was, because she didn't want to miss out on the fun.
Yeah.
So she knew. Jen was actually sensible,
Yeah,
really.
she knew.
She knew she'd had enough, so she just started doing shots of water with
So
us.
I took that bucket, and again, thinking, he said, this is, I guess, alcohol playing its part. Don't drink, kids. I went out to the backyard and just like tipped it in the yard. And I was thinking, that's great. I've just done this. This is perfect.
Yep.
I haven't
We
spilled
got
it
rid of that.
inside. There's not
Yep.
we're just sitting outside having a merry time.
Yeah.
Merry seedy time. Anyway, the next day, my dad got and he came inside. He's like, "Who has vomited in the backyard, but in like a really long straight line? Like, how's that happened?" I just tipped it out like obviously a big straight line. Didn't think that I would just need to hose it into the garden or anything like that. And it's
Just straight across his parents' backyard is just a giant line of my vomit.
and my dad thought it was some just like I need to like obviously everyone now watch. We'll do a clip on this. I don't know if it'll be on camera, but the best way to do it was my dad did the action and said, "I don't understand who has vomited like this." And went.
He was actually sort of low-key impressed, wasn't
he was.
He was like, how did that happen?
And just in my head, I was like, at the time, I thought I was making a really smart decision. I mean, obviously I did because you could just hose it away, and that
Yeah.
then bit of strip of grass became very green. But
You're welcome.
yeah, but yeah, that's a very, very good from the pouch.
Yeah, you've taken my my drum pad away, but yeah, that's the Christmas from the pouch. It's one of the we've done actually quite a few Christmas things with Remember 7 and with just church things, and all of them I've loved. This is the one exception. This is the one night
It was a
where
tough
just
night.
everything was just so bad, and we really questioned everything we were doing.
I think it's
So-
because we, obviously being as a band, we just knew like just how things needed to go and we were used to it. And just like for us, I guess we'd been playing those carols and Christmas songs and stuff since we were like
yeah,
grown up. We'd grown up with it.
Yeah.
And so I guess it was just this, there was other people there that were doing it for the first
The
time.
first time, yeah.
And just
Some people the first time literally ever singing in public.
yeah,
So it was,
let alone
yeah.
in another language. So
Yeah.
look, it was incredibly tough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and we made it. Look, we had we're all still here.
Yeah.
It was
We are.
fine.
But my vomit ending up in a straight line across Matt's
work of
parents'
art.
backyard. That is the memory, particularly that I draw from the pouch, and the one that we often talk about from
Well
time
done.
to time.
That is great. From the pouch. One thing I wanted to ask before we finish, because it's getting pretty close to Christmas, is now I'm a bit weird. Because I guess I have just my beliefs in Christmas and things like that. I kind of categorize Christmas music into two categories. There's a Christmas carol and there's a Christmas song.
Yes, agree.
So I want to ask you what your favorite Christmas carol is and what your favorite Christmas song is.
Yeah.
Because I find this incredibly hard.
I find it hard too. I was thinking about this week because when we decided to do this podcast, we both independently, obviously, were like, that's a pretty obvious question we want to ask each other. I hadn't thought about the Christmas song though. Christmas carol for me is O Holy Night, fairly standard. I'm assuming that's yours as well, or am I wrong?
No, you are. I've just got a very close second.
Okay. And do you have, the question I was going to ask you was with your favourite carol, do you have a favourite version of it? Because mine is Celine Dion's version of O Holy Night.
Yeah, it's a very weird one. Celine Dion is up there for me. There is one that, again, if you're not in Australia, won't know who, or maybe you will know who Hillsong are. But Hillsong have done probably 17 versions of it. But there was one on like a So Fresh CD years and years ago that was O Holy Night done by Hillsong at the time.
Okay.
And it is just my favourite version of that song.
Yeah.
It's just the favourite recording that's ever been done.
Yep.
In my mind of it. Celine's it's up there.
Yep.
But yeah, they have also done versions where I'm like, guys, I guess it's just not anywhere near what in my head it was. But yeah, Oh Holy Night is my favourite.
Josh Groban
Christmas
does a
carol.
banger as well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. What's your second? What's your close second?
Very, very second is Mary Did You Know?
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Which we did.
We did.
If you don't mind me saying, an incredible version
We
of
did.
with a bunch of our friend musicians.
Yep.
And there's an amazing YouTube clip of the performance.
It's Two Fish Bread, Breadfish 2.
Breadfish 2. Yeah, a little group we were a part of for a while with some very, very talented musicians.
Yeah.
And there was 4 vocalists and I was one of them, and I've never been so shit scared to sing in my life. Like just such
You're just saying
epic
I
vocalists.
think it deserves it. If 4 vocalists, you're not including me, that was singing there. Okay, cool.
Well, you were doing other things as well. So you did get an entire half verse to yourself too, didn't you? Sorry. Sorry.
You've all taken an eighth of a
the
verse.
4 of us were sitting doing nothing else. Although I think Craig was actually playing guitar, wasn't he? So I'm wrong. There were 5 vocalists. Sorry, Matt.
Baby boy.
Yeah, that's a great second one. I have memories of Mary Did You Know when I was little. So I would have been in primary school, and every year my family goes to the Gold Coast for holidays, and we used to go to Burleigh Uniting Church for the 4 weeks we were on holidays. And at Christmas time, we would always sing for them because our family sings in 3, 4, 5-part harmony. And I remember my mum teaching all my cousins. So there were 7 cousins at the time and my mum. And we did at least a 3-part harmony version of Mary Did You Know? And that's my memory of learning that song. Because you don't sing it in church, really, at Christmas.
It's not really a well-known carol.
It's not at all. But yeah, it's one of my very first carols. I remember learning parts too. And yeah, good choice. Christmas song, I don't know. Is Little Drummer Boy a Christmas carol?
I think it is a carol, I think.
Yeah, that's probably one of my other big favourites. And weirdly, the version I love most of that is the version that we did with Joy, doing some really awesome slap acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it was really
very
good.
Cool,
she was very
rhythmic.
creative when she came up with that version.
Yeah.
O Come With Thee Faithful, I think, is my third.
Oh, yeah,
I love
beautiful.
that song.
Yeah.
Or even... oh my goodness, I've just had a blank. The glory. I love that one too.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're just naming carols, but my number 1 and 2
Now we're
up
just naming carols.
by a mile ahead of 3 and 4. Mary Did You Know and O Holy Night at the top. Christmas song. There's a
don't
big
know.
one for me.
Okay, I need yours first then.
Okay, so mine is Happy Christmas, War is Over by John Lennon.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, good choice. Yeah, I don't know. The only one that springs to mind is
How to Make Gravy by Paul Kelly.
no. You know what I'm going to say. If you really think about it, you know what I'm going to say. Oh, I'm really glad you don't know. Maybe I'm not that basic. It's Mariah Carey.
Oh, it's not that song, is it? It's not
Well,
that
just
she's come out of the freezer. It's not.
It comes to mind because that Christmas album to me is iconic. That whole album that she released is iconic.
So is it actually the All I Want for
much.
Christmas Is You?
I mean, it can't be my favourite, but it's the first one that popped into my head. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
Okay, mate. We're all entitled to our opinion.
This might be the last episode of Skip the Beat. A podcast loosely based on my obsession with Mariah Carey.
It is what it is.
It's what it is.
It's like the Buble.
Can I steal yours? Because yours was a really great one.
Oh, it's a great one.
Yeah, it's a really great one.
Yeah, it's a great.
What about a bit of Last Christmas? I gave you my heart.
Great costume to go to a party as.
Yes.
So that was my so much for being a 30-minute podcast.
Yeah, we don't know how to shut up.
So my 30th birthday, which was only 2 years ago.
Your 30th?
My 30th, yeah, when I was only a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. I was spring chicken in my early 30s.
Liar.
I had a Come As Your favourite song. Well, not your favourite song, just Come As a Song.
Come As a Song.
'Cause it's not my favourite song.
Yeah. Yep.
Others would have been coming as something Elton-y
Yeah.
or Shania-y.
Yeah.
But it was Come As a Song title.
Yep.
And so I bought this Christmas. So that was in whatever year it was. Let's just say it was this year. My 30th this year. So it's 2024. So
Let's just say.
For the purpose of this.
Let's just say.
2024, I turned 30 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So my birthday party, when I turned 30 this year, was I was wearing a proper Christmas tree outfit. Like
It was a giant Christmas tree, like
gr-
felt from memory.
Felt like a felt dress, but
Yeah.
all the way from top to
a big Christmas tree smock.
and then a
Yeah.
big hat that was like the thing with the star on top.
Yeah.
And I put Christmas lights around it. I was a Christmas tree.
And they were flashing Christmas lights.
They were.
Legit.
I was, yep. It must be nice. It was. It's quite hot. Anyway, had tinsel.
Yeah.
Ball. It was a Christmas tree. I don't know how much.
I reckon
just-
they understood when you said Christmas tree.
So I
yeah.
had big numbers across the front. Now, going by it being this year, the numbers on my shirt were 2023. Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, what's that? I'm like, just think about it. Just think about it. If, like, we're coming into Christmas, like my birthday's end of October, like, what are you doing for Christmas this year? Oh, that's 2024. Ah, they're like, oh, 2023. I was last Christmas. Yes, I was last
That was
Christmas.
a big story. I'm not sure about the reveal, but
Up.
my memory from that party is that I had just chronic social anxiety. Did I come as anything? I don't
You did.
think I wore
No,
a
I think you did.
costume.
You did something.
Did I do something really
Because
basic?
Toby and Jay came as Doctor, because he came in
I
his
don't know.
scrubs.
Yeah, I don't know that I did. Because I hate dress-up parties. I hate them.
Even though
and
you
I'm
have
bad.
had them in the past.
Well, I've had one 23 years ago. And yeah, it's
Oh, you shared that photo of you and me at your 21st. We'll have to put that on socials.
yeah. I found a photo of a time where Matt and I were friends, and I didn't
Oh, we
recall
spoke about it on
meeting
the
him
pod,
for
I think.
another 5 years.
You've had this. We've in this shot together.
Arms around each
Yeah,
other,
just like, yeah,
smiling, happy.
You're like,
Yeah.
who's this guy?
Matt would have been 15. I was 21. Yeah, cute. Cute.
I can't remember. There was a lot of people
No.
got into it though.
They did, yeah. I just don't reckon I was one of them. I'm pretty remembering because that party definitely wasn't this year.
Okay, mate.
Okay, mate.
2019.
Was-
2016.
It was definitely in 2016. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to steal your favourite Christmas song, and we're going to pretend we didn't even talk about Mariah Carey
Okay.
in this segment of the
Just a bit of
pod.
John Lennon.
Just edit that out.
Okay.
Just edit that
Yeah,
out.
no, my favourite Christmas carol by a mile. And that How to Make Gravy by Paul Kelly is a great song that comes out at Christmas time as well. It's
Yeah.
just such a good, just so good.
Are you going to see the movie?
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's out.
Is it out?
I thought it was. Yeah, not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only been to the movies. Actually, this is something on the pod that we could have spoken about. Was kind of music related. Well, it is music related. I went to the cinema for the first time in, I think, years.
Wow.
Well, I think the second time in years. The first
Yeah.
time was I went and saw. Was it Matilda the musical? When that
Okay.
came out years ago, I saw that
Yep.
with the kids because Asher loved it. I mean, you
Yep.
know, we've been to the stage show Matilda and they
we
love
have.
it. Love
Yep,
it.
Yep.
But I haven't been to the cinemas at all.
Yeah.
And so Jen and I actually had last Friday
Little date night?
date day.
Date day.
Date day.
Beautiful. Oh, holidays, baby.
Extended
Let's
lunch.
go.
And we went to the cinema and saw Wicked.
I still haven't seen it.
Now, I won't say too much then because I don't want to ruin it, but I hold a bit of a funny thing with particularly when I've seen the stage show, and that was brilliant. That was your 21st present to me, was Broadway Wicked. So another story. I'm a little bit funny when I then see a movie remake of it because Matilda, the stage show, is absolutely phenomenal. The original movie, of course, which came out first, really, really good. The movie that I did is great, but in itself is good, I guess. But it's just nothing compared to like the stage show. Like I'm just like it's just not. It's just not the same. Like going and seeing that. With Wicked though, I went in with that pretty low expectation. Going, I guess I'll watch it. You know me. I said I think on a podcast 3 or 4 episodes ago, I'm going through a bit of an Ariana Grande fanboy moment.
Bit of a deep dive.
Yeah. I don't know if that helped because her voice is amazing. But I walked out and went, that was far better than I expected, and I'll rate it. Very, very good.
I've seen some amazing clips floating around reels and stuff on Insta.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, of men going to see it being like sort of dragged there by their partner. Not that that's what it was for you and Jen, but...
And they're walking out being like, popular.
Yeah.
No,
walking
about
out,
popular.
walking out weeping. Like literally just reels of men just weeping at...
Okay, I definitely wasn't
Yeah.
weeping. I was more so just going, I need to listen to that soundtrack again.
Yeah, it's epic.
Yeah.
But it's
was
also
really
just
good.
a really, from what I know of it, they do the storyline differently as well, though.
Slightly
So
different,
it's
yes.
so it's actually a spin on it, which is unusual. Normally, a lot of times when they're bringing out a musical, like a stage musical as a movie, you're seeing just the stage show as the movie.
Do you know the cast
Yeah.
in it? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not ruining it because I missed one particular big thing, which was a very, very nice surprise for me in the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't do my research in it before I went into it. I knew the acts,
The main ones.
the main cast, but I missed the wizard. So when Jeff Goldburn comes out as the wizard, I was like,
Yeah.
legend.
Yeah.
So really good. It was great. So if you haven't seen Wicked, go and see it.
I'm hoping it's still out because Anna and I wanted to see it at the beach.
Yeah, you'll see it.
It's still
there.
running?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
Well, it was last week.
Excellent. We better go on it quick then.
All right. I think we're done.
I think we are.
Is that Merry Christmas?
Is that Merry Christmas?
Is it Merry Christmas time?
I think
Just
it
to
is.
say Merry Christmas,
I think
Happy
that's
New
the
Year.
last thing on the virtual whiteboard. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for a very fun year. Look, we got it off the ground. 18 episodes. This was going to be a 30-minute episode. It's not done.
Didn't undo. We've got some plans for next year. There's a few guest people I think we'd like to bring into the pod next year, guest musos that we know that do really exciting things in the world of music.
Good
That
that
we'd
you
love
chatted
to
with
have.
me about that first, but that's good.
I feel like we did talk
You do
about
Your
it.
podcast. You did. We did talk about it. It was a good idea. It was a good idea. I like it.
Yes, we're gonna go next level a bit on a few episodes next year. Get some exciting people into the pod, and I might try and get a bit more involved on the socials. Start to do some of the fun stuff that we say. Oh, we'll put that on the socials, and we often don't do it. We just
need to get it out there.
Same thing to us.
We often don't do it.
Yeah, so it'd be good to be able to share a bit more of some of the behind the scenes of some of these stories that we tell about our silly lives. So yes, from me as well. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Christmas. Happy New Year, and we will probably see you fairly early in the new year, I'd imagine.
I reckon so. Enjoy the Christmas ham.
Enjoy the vegetarian Christmas ham.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.